Imagine this. Imagine you sign up to this new gym. Now this gym is massive, it's huge, and it's brand new. They got all the new state-of-the-art equipment. And so you walk up in there, you're ready to go, you start hitting some chest. And all of a sudden, this dude comes up and he says, "Hey bro, do you mind if I get in some chest with you?" You look at him, he's a good looking dude, he dresses nice, he's pretty swole, and he seems like a chill dude. So you're like, "Oh yeah, for sure bro." And then you guys start knocking out some reps together. And then within 5 minutes, you guys completely hit it off. It feels like you've known this dude your entire life. You realize that you guys both love the same types of things, you have the same types of hobbies, you love working out, you're both into self-improvement, you're talking about all the same books you read, all the same dudes you watch on YouTube. "Oh bro, oh yeah, you watch Drexler too?" "Yeah bro, he's the dopest." Long story short, this dude becomes your guy right on the spot. The next couple weeks go by, you're training with this dude every single day. You guys are constantly hanging out, going to the movies. You create like this straight bromance. And then check this out. 2 months goes by. You guys just hit a really good gym session, and then you head to the protein house to get a bite to eat. You guys both enjoy your lunch, and then all of a sudden you're on your way out, and then your bro says to you, "Hey bro, shoot, I forgot my wallet. Let me head back inside and go get it." So as he goes back in, you're still walking to your car, and all of a sudden, just before you get inside your car, these two thugs come up on you and they jump you. All of a sudden, they're just pounding on your face, kicking you, and you're trying to fight them off. And so you're hitting back, and as you're hitting back and trying to fight these guys, in your head you're kind of wondering, "Yo, where's my bro at? I need help." And so you look back for a quick second and you see your bro. He's got his wallet in his hand and he walks out, and you guys make eye contact. All of a sudden your bro's looking at you with a blank stare, almost like this great fear just takes over and consumes him. And as you're fighting off these thugs, you're like, "All right man, now my buddy's about to come. We're about to take you guys out." But as you look back at your friend, he's just still standing there with a blank stare. And so you yell at him, "Come on bro, help me out." And as soon as you say that, your friend just takes off running in the other direction. And all of a sudden, you're straight confused. And you look at him and he jumps inside of his car and takes off, leaving your ass completely stranded. No help, no backup whatsoever. And so now all of a sudden, these two guys, they're just wailing on you. There's absolutely nothing you can do. You're trying to fight them off, but it's no use. They take your wallet, they take your keys, they jump inside your car, and they take off. And now you're lying there on the ground, totally defeated, just trying to catch your breath, and all you can think about is your bro and how he just straight abandoned you. You think to yourself, "Man, I thought that was my brother." Now I have a story that was kind of like opposite of that. Back when I was in kindergarten, I had this first grader who was constantly picking on me, pushing me, shoving me, calling me names. And so I told my other friend who was also in first grade, and I said, "Hey dude, this bully, man, he just keeps picking on me and pushing me and teasing me." And my friend, he got livid, bro. And he said, "What? Who's doing this? Point him out to me right now." And so I'm there, we're at school, and I point out to him, and I see my buddy go straight to him. He walks up to him face to face, shoves him, and he said, "Let's take this out to the field right now. You don't mess with my friend Dre." And then all of a sudden, bro, I'm sitting there and I'm looking out into the field, and I see both of them, bro, and my friend's got his dukes up, bro, and he's just swinging, dude, throwing blows. And I'll never forget that image, dude, because I remembered that good buddy of mine, and I was just like, bro, that was cool having someone just stand up for me like that, to stand up to my bully. And from what I remember, I mean, this was like 25 years ago, but I remember the kid, he did actually go to the principal's office, and I think he got sent home as well for like the rest of the week. So he got in pretty big trouble, but he did it for me, bro, and it was just kind of cool to have a brother like that stood up for me. And it kind of sucks because after that year, I ended up not even going to that school. My mom put me in a whole different school because we moved. So yeah, I actually never saw that kid ever again, but you know, I always think back to that and I'm just like, man, that sure was a good bro, and now I'm sure he's a really good bro to a whole nother bro. Now before I go ahead and dive into this, I just want to kind of set the stage here. Having a good set of brothers by your side, it's kind of like being a MMA fighter or a boxer, right? You're only really as good as your corner. And if your corner is down and defeated all the time, down and defeated becomes your new normal. See, check it out. No matter what you go through in life, whether you have a season of success or a season of defeat, you need to have a good, solid corner, a good, solid group of friends by your side that you always go back to round after round. All these dudes who watch my videos, it's like we're always so focused on finding the right girl, finding the right wife, but it's like, what about finding the right bro? Everybody always has this like benchmark for the type of wife that they want, and she needs to have these values and these characteristics, but we don't have any sort of standard for our inner circle of friends, our inner circle of brothers. We just kind of let any and anybody come right through, and that is just as dangerous as marrying the wrong chick. Now don't get me wrong, the goal isn't quantity, it's quality. If you can have both, cool. But even if you had one friend that's just a solid, high quality friend, this can actually determine the course of your life. So today we're going to be discussing 6 types of friends that you need to surround yourself with. Again, it's not all about quantity. So if you have even 1 or 2 good friends that possess most of these qualities, you're going to be on the right track. Number 1, we got the to the death brother. In other words, the warrior, the one who will go out into war, who will go out into battle with you and will fight to the death. And I kind of mean that both metaphorically and literally, in a literal sense as well. This type of brother that you allow into your life, into your inner circle, you have to know in your head that this dude is going to be with you through thick and thin, even if it comes down to a life or death situation. I put this quote on my YouTube community the other day, you might have seen it. It said, "Only a man who is willing to fight and die beside you deserves to be called your brother." It's like my friend back in when I was in kindergarten, he was in 1st grade. He literally went out there onto the battlefield. He was out there, on the front lines for me, bro. He was even willing to take a punch for me from this kid, from this bully. I remember even a few years after that, I was playing club basketball and I had this kid at school who used to bully me, and we're getting ready to play his team. And I told my best friend at the time, his name was Marcus, I told him about this kid and how, yeah, this dude always gives me a hard time at school. And once my friend on my basketball team, Marcus, once he found out about this, mid-game, bro, this kid came up and he was going in between these guys and went up for this layup, and my friend Marcus was guarding him, and then just like real low key, the refs didn't see it, but my friend Marcus went pop right in his stomach, and that kid was like, oh, he was on the ground just jacked. None of the refs saw it, and my friend Marcus was like, what happened? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to have friends that just go out and just beat up guys for you. I'm not saying that. But at the end of the day, you need to know that your friends, they do have your back. And if anybody messes with you, they'll be right there alongside of you, ready to confront them, ready to face them head on. And if it does have to get physical, like if somebody comes at you and starts attacking you, like, at the end of the day, if crap went down, you know that your brother has your back and he'll fight there alongside with you and will not leave you stranded, not running off into his car, just totally abandoning you in the parking lot. Number 2, the man who talks you up in front of others, especially women. Now, don't get me wrong, like, when we have our friends and stuff, we kind of like bag on each other, just kind of mess with each other and criticize, like, oh, bro, I bet you couldn't get that girl. Like, that kind of stuff that can be actually healthy and beneficial. There's been many times in my own life where I've had friends that say the same thing to me and be like back when I was single, like, oh, Dre, I bet you won't even talk to her. I bet you won't even say nothing. And then that gets me going, that galvanizes me, and I'm like, all right, bet, I'll show you. And then I actually go up and do it. So that can actually be, of course, helpful, right? But what you don't want is them to actually criticize you and put you down in front of that girl. Like, if you do end up talking to that girl, going up to her, and maybe you say you start dating her and stuff like that, those same friends that said, oh, I bet you won't talk to her, those same guys now need to be building you up and making you look real good, kind of putting you up on that pedestal in front of that girl to make sure that you lock her in, right? Back in junior high, just a real quick story, I had this girl, she was Latina, and I was really, I thought she was really cute, and I remember, I was just kind of talking to her just a little bit in the school hallways, and I remember I had my friend who was on my basketball team. He thought it would be real funny to come up behind me and just get me in a straight headlock and make me look like an idiot. And this kid was way bigger than me. For most of you who have watched me for a while, you knew that I hit puberty way later on in life, and I was always like the runt of the litter, like the smallest one in class. And so this dude has me in this headlock, and he's way stronger than me. I can't get out of it, but I remember back to my dad kind of like trained me growing up on like certain moves that you can do to people just to take them out. And so in my head, I'm like, all right, bro, well, I don't mean to hurt you right now, but you're doing this in front of this girl that I like, so yeah, I'm gonna have to take care of you. So I do this specific move that my dad taught me. It's this grab that you do right here on someone's hip, and it's extremely painful. It like hits one of their pressure points, and I did that on him. And when I grabbed him, I just twisted as hard as I could. And this immediately, he just fell back onto the ground. And he's like, oh, like he was jacked. And to be honest, dude, like I didn't feel bad whatsoever. I was just like, oh, sorry, bro. In that state, I had to do what I had to do. I couldn't let this girl see me defeated, right? So sorry, bro, tough luck. And so this actually all ended up working in my favor because it showed the girl that, I can handle my own, obviously, right? So the whole moral of this story, bro, even though it did work out in my favor, this dude, my friend who was on my basketball team, he should have made me look good, not try to make me look bad in front of this girl. Number 3, the truther. Now, I got this whole idea from that show, Drake and Josh, and I remember Drake was looking at his brother Josh, and he's like, You call me a liar? And then Josh is like, I ain't calling you a truther. So I always thought that was kind of funny. But this is the type of guy that you need in your life. You need someone who's going to be honest with you, whether the truth hurts you or not. He's not like a yes man, right? Always just trying to tell you what you want to hear, right? No, he's telling you what you need to hear. And he's actually willing to put that friendship on the line because he actually loves you that much that he's telling you the truth that you need to hear that's actually going to set you free or actually help better your situation. And don't get me wrong, he's not going to do it in a way that's like degrading or dishonoring or do it in a way that's going to hurt you or offend you or, right? Like he's not going to purposefully attack you. He's going to do it in a way, for the most part, that's out of love. And so that's what you need, bro. That's going to be pretty much your saving grace in life, is having a dude that's going to spit facts to you whether you like it or not. Now check this out. This is such a wild story and I'm pretty sure that you'll really connect with this. Now I'm sure you guys have heard the story of David and Goliath, right? David was this kid, 13 years old, who slayed this giant with his slingshot. Now as he got older, he actually became king, like when he was a man. And basically, long story short, one day he sleeps with this married woman named Bathsheba and he actually gets her pregnant. And her husband is actually one of King David's soldiers and he's out in battle at this time. He's out in war. And so King David gets all stressed out and he's like, oh crap, shoot, I'm about to have a kid with this chick and so how am I gonna hide this? How am I gonna hide these facts and not let this story get out that it's my child? Well, what am I gonna do? And so he actually has her husband, Uriah, he has him come back home from battle because he thinks, okay, if I can get him to sleep with his wife again, everybody will just think that that's his child, including him, including Uriah. And so those few days that Uriah was actually home, he decided to stay celibate during this time and not even sleep with his wife because in his head, he's like, dude, my brothers are out here on the front lines. They're out here in war fighting for their lives. And there's no way I'm just gonna sit here at home and enjoy myself and, have sex with my wife. There's no way. And so he chose not to sleep with his wife. And King David now stressing out, he's like, oh crap, all right, what am I gonna do? And so he actually gets smart and he tells his military leader, Joab, he says, okay, I want you to do something for me. He says, the next time that you guys go out into battle, I want you to take Uriah and I want you guys to lead. I want you guys to be on the forefronts. And the second that you guys attack the enemy, I want you, Joab, to fall back. So that way Uriah can be easily defeated and, that'll get rid of my problem. And that's exactly what happens. Joab falls back and Uriah gets killed in battle. And so now that makes it real convenient. King David is able to marry Bathsheba and they can just say, yeah, of course we had a kid, right? Because we're married. Now check this out, bro. This is where the story gets real juicy. So King David has a friend named Nathan. He's a prophet. And Nathan comes through and he tells King David of this parable. And at this time, King David thinks this is like an actual story going on within his palace. Nathan tells King David, he talks about this rich man and this poor man. And how the rich man has like hundreds of sheep, right? Because he's really wealthy. But the poor man only has one sheep. But that one sheep to this poor man, this is like a daughter to him. Like this poor man and his family, like they raised this sheep. And this sheep would like eat and sleep with them. And it was always around. It was straight up like a daughter to this poor man. And so this visitor comes through and the visitor is looking for something to eat. He's looking for a meal. And this rich man, instead of giving up one of his sheep out of his hundreds, the rich man goes to the poor man's, takes his one and only sheep that's like a daughter to him and serves it up as a meal to this visitor. And so King David, hearing this story, thinking that this is going on currently right now, he looks at Nathan and says, this man, bring him forth. He deserves to die right now. He's furious. And Nathan looks at him in his face and says, this man is you. Heavy, bro. See, check it out. At this time, King David, he wasn't being the king that God wanted him to be. He was veering off track. Bro, at this time, he had all kinds of chicks. He had all kinds of wives. He didn't need to keep tacking on more and keep sleeping with even more chicks. But what did he do? He had this guy, Uriah, killed in battle and took his one and only sheep, his one and only wife, and took it for himself. And now that Nathan confronted him, David looked at his friend Nathan and said, I have sinned against the Lord. So this is what you need, bro. You need a Nathan in your life to slap you upside your head, to make you realize when you're falling off track. You need that truther that's going to come through and tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. It's kind of funny because my friend Joel, he's kind of like that Nathan to me, right? And, we'll be hanging out and I might say something and then he'll right away be like, that's not what you said in your videos. It's kind of funny because you guys get to see the best version of me, right? If I mess up in these videos, my editor can just like fix it up and make me look better than what I am. But Joel, he sees me firsthand. He sees the real me. He sees all the mess ups, all the bloopers, everything. And he's able to put me in check. He's able to tell me when I'm kind of falling off track and he slaps me upside my head. And as a man, you not only need a friend like that, a friend like Nathan in the Bible, but you need to be like King David also and have that humility. And you need to be able to say, you're right, and I messed up and I need to do better. Number 4, the visionary. You need to have a man in your life, close brother, that has vision. And you need to ask yourself, when you're hanging out with your bros, when you're hanging out with your friends, does he have an empire inside of him? Does he have vision? Does he have direction? You know, like we're always talking about here on this channel how, you know, when you're in a relationship with a woman, you need to have vision, you need to have direction. Well, it goes the same way with, you know, having men in your life as well, having buddies, having friends that are in that inner circle. All you guys need to have vision and direction for your life. You need to be equally yoked with your brothers as well. I was just talking to my dad this morning. We got a Starbucks, and, you know, he's reading through this new book right now, and he was talking to me about friendship, about brotherhood. And he told me, I wrote it down, he said, you know, there's 5 pillars of success: relational, emotional, spiritual, physical, and financial. But what's the first one? The first one is relational. That's the foundation of your success in life. Everybody here on this channel, everybody's always asking me, what's the 5 steps to success and how do I become more successful, make more money? And before you go out there in the world and you start, you know, building up your business, building up your future plan, first things first, bro, who's a part of your inner circle? That is the foundation. A lot of these dudes, they have miserable lives because they're in miserable relationships. Bro, you're not gonna have any success out there in the world if every day you come back home and you're in just a horrible, miserable relationship, or you got like miserable friends who are always down and out and defeated. I think of it kind of like an iPhone. When you're out and about working, making phone calls and texting, doing emails, your battery drains over the course of the day, right? So when you go back home, whether it's with the girl in your life, your wife, whether it's you hanging out with your friends, that's kind of like your charging dock. And you need to make sure that those dudes, those people in your life, those brothers, your wife, whatever, any type of relationship, they need to be charging you up. And if they're not, if they're sucking the life out of you, draining you, you think you're gonna be effective in business? You think you're gonna get success out there in the real world? It ain't gonna happen, bro. Number 5, the platonic brother. Back in the 1800s, it wasn't rare for a man to confess to his brother, to confess to his best friend, hey, I love you with all my heart, bro. I was watching Lord of the Rings probably like 5 or 6 months ago, and there was a scene, not that like Lord of the Rings is real or anything, but you know, back in the like medieval times, there's a scene at the end of the first movie, Fellowship of the Ring, where Boromir, he's lying there on the ground. He had just been shot with arrows by some orcs, and Aragorn is there just holding him like this, like locking arms with him. And as Boromir passes away and dies, Aragorn has like tears running down his face, and Aragorn actually kisses Boromir on the forehead. These days, bro, if you were to do something like that, bro, you're just straight gay, dude, just straight homo. So moral of the story here is kiss your bros, dude. Kiss them. I'm just kidding. Grab their head, bro, and just give them a big smooch. No, but bro, look, what I'm trying to say here is don't be afraid to just tell your bro, hey, love you, my guy. Actually, I think that's the most masculine thing you can do, because like naturally we don't want to do that, especially like in this day and age. We don't want to be all ooby gooby with our bros, right? But every once in a while, just even if it's like a text, hey, love you, my guy, just to show that appreciation, just to show that love. And the relationship needs to be reciprocal as well. Your bros need to be able to just show some appreciation, show some love. It's okay to tell your dudes in your inner circle that you're grateful for them, right? I heard this quote earlier today, actually, when I was talking to my dad. He said, the only relationships that actually work are the ones where each party truly deep down, they want the best for the other person. And that's, you know, whether that's with a relationship with a woman or with your bros. The only way those friendships or relationships will work is if each of them want the best for each other. And so you as a man, you need to really analyze your current friendships and be like, hey, do these guys really want the best for me? Are they really appreciative of me? Do they really, truly, deeply love me? Or if like I packed my bags tomorrow and left to a different state, like would they really even care? So, hey, look, have that platonic brotherhood and don't settle for anything else. And the final one, number 6, is your spiritual brother. This one's probably the most vital, especially for you guys that want to stay on track in your relationship with God and you want to stay mission focused. At all costs, you need to have brothers, at least in your inner circle. The brothers in your inner tight circle, you guys need to be spiritually aligned. You guys need to have that same vision and direction for your life and have God as that solid foundation. As far as like your friends outside of that, like, okay, whatever, the guys who you kind of just see every once in a while or at the gym, okay, yeah, you know, if they have a relationship with God or not, okay, whatever. It doesn't really have that much of an effect on you. But as far as that inner tight-knit group of friends, just as you would with your wife, you guys need to be equally yoked. It says in God's word, as iron sharpens iron, so one man does to another. In these times right now, what I believe are the end times, we don't have any use for being in tight, close friendships with unbelievers, with people that are going to actually lead us astray and farther away from God. The enemy is out to steal, kill, and destroy. And he's been working at this for a few thousands of years now. And so the enemy's smart, bro. He knows how to slither his way in there and attack you and get you to veer off track. And he can do that not only through prawn and addictions and things like that, but he can also do that with people that come into your life. He can do that with a girl. He can have a girl come into your life that can totally lead you astray and away from God. He can do that with friends in your life. He can literally have brothers come into your life that you think are, your closest buds. And if they are degenerates, if they have no spiritual connection with God, no relationship whatsoever, and just kind of do whatever they want, whenever they want, and kind of just live for the world, live for culture, you will be influenced by them 100%. You are, we always hear that quote, you are the average of the 5 people closest to you. And if God is not present in their life, more than likely God's not going to be present in your life. You're not going to make him a top priority because they're not making him a top priority. You got to be aware of this, bro. You got to be aware that as a man, you are highly influenced. I don't care what you say or what you think. We are all highly influenced by the people around us. That's why me personally, bro, my inner circle is tight. It is very extremely small because I know the enemy, he's raging war against my soul, against my spirit, and he wants to take me out at whatever costs. And he can do that. He can slither his way through either through media, entertainment, addictions, and negative friendships, negative relationships. So we got to be aware of this as men. Choose your friends wisely, especially your inner circle, because your life depends on it.